to the HomeTech Podcast for Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th in May here. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Powell, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast about all aspects of home technology, home automation. This week we've got a couple of new things that have come up. I mean, Google and Sonos, pretty much that's it. ISE is going on right now. I haven't really heard anything out of that show. Like, there's been a couple of press releases that aren't really applicable with what we're talking about here. But that kind of makes sense because it's more of a commercial show than anything. But we've got some friends of the show that are over there doing fun things, it looks like, teaching, having a good time and walking the show floor, I assume. I'm not sure, but it looks like trade shows are back. This week we had probably the funniest moment I think we've had in a home tech talk in a while, and that was when Jimmy actually came in with a Coke Starlight in front of two people that only want to drink Coke Zero. So that was a shocking moment when that happened. There was a lot of arguments going on there. But the previous week, which I think a few people missed because I think it was just Gavin and I sitting around talking, Gavin was showing me some dashboards he did. And they're really cool, man. What is this thing called, and how are you doing it?
So for my smart home remote control, like, I know people love their dashboards, but I use it on my phone mainly instead of an app or anything. It's just a web page that loads, but it works really well. And the one I use is called Sharp Tools. It's compatible with Habitat. They released integration with Home Assistant, and it's basically just presenting, your smart home in a nice way that you can control it or view stats or whatever like that. The key thing about it though, it's super customizable. Like, you can create themes, you can do custom CSS, create custom tiles, do JavaScript in it. It's so powerful. So this week I was kind of working on mine and I was adding a few things. So I added my cameras. I added all my cameras from Blue Iris, but it was a little more custom than that. I take it to the next level. I added controlling the cameras and everything too. So now through all my dashboards, I can see my cameras. I can control them. I can, I have a button where if I press it, it will take me into the actual Blue Iris app at that point where we can view the timelines and everything. I might take it to the next level and integrate the timeline into there as well. I also replicated my Harmony remotes onto their own dashboards. So from my phone, I just launch up the remote in the app, and from there I can control my TVs. I don't use this often, but I've needed it in the past when the battery in my remote has died, because some people in the house don't like to put it back on the stand. Right? So, if your Harmony remote dies, it's their Logitech app. I'm sorry, it sucks. And I don't like using it. So I actually just replicated the remote into a dashboard, and it took some custom JavaScript and interaction and stuff like that. And yeah, so I've been working with Josh over there, who the owner, and he's been giving me a lot of tips. I had to learn JavaScript. I had to learn a number of things. I hate HTML stuff, but I had to pick it up, and he helped out a lot. And I got something working really nicely in it. So if you're looking for, something that's a little bit better than your current dashboards, take a look at Sharp Tools. It's not free, but it's worth the subscription. It's really customizable, and it'll give you everything you want. Like, I highly recommend it.
I was looking through on the website here. It looks like it works with SmartThings, Habitat, and Home Assistant, but nothing else. So.
Yeah, that's only $30 a year. That is not bad at all.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
No, and like I said, it's fully customizable. So the images you see on there of like their dashboards, you can customize it so much, especially when it comes down to super tiles and custom tiles. Those are some powerful things, because I have custom tile that does my Life 360 integration. So it brings up a Life 360 map and shows where everybody is on the map, and it's built right into the dashboard. It works really nice. Like, there's so much power that they all have their own automation system. I probably use maybe 40% of the whole thing, but it's so powerful and it's so worth it.
Now, so there's a subscription involved. So I assume this is like hosted not in your house. It sounds like it's hosted outside.
It's a cloud-based
Cloud thing,
product,
okay.
yes. But I mean, it's for remote access to your home. When you're at home,
Oh, okay.
you know,
I see.
yeah. So you'll be controlling your home from outside, viewing from outside. So it is a cloud-based thing. You will need the cloud. It's a dashboard, right? If you really wanted to be local, Habitat's dashboards, their built-in ones are all local. That if you really wanted to, but I use the cloud for this specific thing, and I have no problems with that.
Nice. Yeah, I was just looking through to see what devices they could talk to and support, I guess, with the interface. And then you just kind of point them at like, oh, I'm using smart things. And it's, my RGB lights, Philips Hue lights or something are over here. And my door locks and stuff are over here. And
It's kind of like that. Like basically you just like in Habitat, for example, it has an app that you install on there, and then you select all the devices you want to export to Smart Sharp Tools. And then you go there and then you can pick them and lay them out on the dashboard as you want, right? And you could choose the capability, you could choose what it presents. There's trust me, there's so many things it does. You can add a weather tile, a time tile, it's very powerful. It's so worth it.
Yeah, it looks like you can get pretty custom with it too. I mean, really custom with it if you wanted, because they have a number of like examples on their website, and they're all a little bit different. It definitely looks like that Windows tile interface that they were trying to do for like Windows 8, I think.
Yes.
Where they tried to tile things. It looks like that. Reminds me
but
of
like
this.
that's the look they have. But keep in mind, it's so customizable. So my theme is pretty much just like a black and white theme I use with touches of color for certain things. Right. Where theirs kind of has that Windows 8 type look that you were talking about, but it's
yours
so
looks completely
customizable.
different from
Yes,
this. Yeah.
I spent
yours
some
almost
time.
reminds me of like a newspaper or comic book. Like you have yours is like, it's very stark. It's very just black and white with like heavy lines. And I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's fun. Like it reminds me of a newspaper or something. I can just check what's going on.
And then I have little dashes of color with the video cameras and stuff. They add the little dash of color in there and stands out. So you could do things like you could have tiles change color based on like the temperature that they're showing or the battery percentage. Like it's, like I said, very powerful product.
We'll have to. I wonder one of these days they'll like expand out into other systems, because it's kind of a nice little thing to have added on to any system, really. Like, and especially the way things are going now, where, well, maybe they're not going that way. We'll talk about it later in the show, but especially sounds like where things are going.
Yeah,
we might need these dashboards to bring different systems together. So it'd be nice if they were able to expand out and compatibilities with other systems outside of the three that you support today.
and maybe somebody can reach out to and do the Crestron or Control 4 integration with them. I mean, it's just a matter of working with the API they have. I'm pretty sure.
I've done plenty of things that do exactly this. Like, I actually have my own code that would like fall right into this with Control 4, but I have to go look at the API and see what they offer. So anyway, looks really cool though. I do like it.
Yeah, I just got to give a shout out to Josh. He was very helpful this week. And I actually learned a lot about JavaScript and so many things that I really don't like to learn about. But
The best part is, as soon as you forget about it, you'll have to learn it all over again. Like me, that's me every week.
the
Like,
day I
oh.
forget JavaScript, something's going to break and I'll have to learn it fast again,
I've been living in Material UI and JavaScript for the last 2 weeks, and I'm done with it. And I'm done with life. And I'll be done with it for another month or so, and I'll have to go right back into it, and I'll have to remember everything. I just open a document over here that has their API, open up the preview screen over here, inspector screen. Yeah, it's a mess.
F5.
Yeah, jeez.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, some of the development stuff actually refreshes. Like every time you hit save, it'll refresh the page, and so that's nice. But it's not as nice as not doing it, because that's much more fun. All right, guys, what do you say we jump into some HomeTech headlines?
Let's do it.
This week, Sonos. Let's start off with those guys. Sonos had 3 big product announcements: a new Ray-Ban home theater bar. The new, it's basically the long rumored Sonos voice assistant that we've been talking about for a while, and some color options for the popular and portable Sonos Roam. So really just like maybe 2.5 big product announcements. So let's talk about the one that everybody really wants to talk about, those new Roam colors. Starting today, the portable line of speakers is available in olive, wave, and sunset color variations. And I actually had to look it up. I mean, olive I get, that's probably green. Wave is blue, and sunset is like an orange. Right? That's what
That sounds correct.
Yeah. I mean, they come in colors. Yay. It's fun. And I like it. So
Some of the things they were saying is that it blends in with like the shrubbery and stuff. And I was like, that sounds like an awful idea for something I'm going to bring with me in nature. I want it to stand out. That way I don't lose it. Right.
Right.
But
right. Yeah. No, it's like the bright orange one is probably the one I would like. If I was going to get one, I would get that. So I was like, where's that speaker?
It's
camouflaged.
right
there. Yeah. I would go that way. Next up, the rumored the Ray Bar, I guess is kind of what they're calling this. It's called the Ray home theater speaker, but I'm calling it a Ray Bar because that's more fun. It's a smaller soundbar we talked about a few shows back, where The Verge landed some kind of scoop on kind of what they were calling the Fury, and I called Furry because every time I read Fury, whatever. Anyway, it's a smaller soundbar, connects with optical cable, has no Dolby Atmos for $349 Canadian, or for some reason on my computer, it won't let me go to the Sonos store in the US where I could have actually paid $279 Freedom dollars on it, which would have been great. That's $279 seems great. $349. Gavin, I don't think you're getting one of these.
No, I was actually looking forward to this, and I was expecting to get one to increase, to make some of the sound on one of my TVs a bit better. But when I saw that price, I just think it's just a little overpriced, and I might as well at that point step up to the next level. I was hoping it would be like under 300, Canadian dollars, but then at that point, you guys are getting it for 200, so then I'd feel even more upset that it's not cheaper.
We had a bunch of Canadians in our home tech talk today, and somebody called it Canadian pesos, and I was like, that's funny. I don't think it's the first time I've heard it. I think you've said it before, actually. So if you all you guys start calling it Canadian pesos, that'd be funny. Yeah. Anyway, TJ, what do you think about this thing?
Two things about the Sonos Ray so The Verge leaked, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They leaked what this was going to be, right? And one of the things they said it was going to be $249, I believe. And at that price, I feel like it would have been a little bit better. $279, though, you're approaching, beam territory, as Gavin said. And the other disappointing thing is that there is nobody's talking about it at least, but there's no planned announcement for using these as rears or Dolby Atmos surrounds. And I was really hoping for that. I don't see why they would do it just because they've never done a soundbar as rears. But that was one of the things they leaked as well. And I'm interested to see if we get that later on. Right now, it's not appealing to me just because I don't need a smaller soundbar. But if you could use them as surrounds, I think a lot of people would be buying them.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that could come with an update. And the reason I think there's like some credibility to that was that it has those like I don't know. We have to go and I haven't seen a teardown of this or like the thing. I've only seen like the marketing images from Sonos, and I haven't really looked at it much because every time I go, it says it's $349 Canadian dollars, and I can't buy the thing. So like the Verge mockups had those horns, right? And it looks like if you turn the speaker sideways, one of those horns would face up. And Sonos, the play bars, like way back in the play bars, it could identify like what direction it was facing, because you could either mount it on the wall or set it on a table, and it would adjust its speaker and sound field based on how you had it installed. So I think they still have that little whatever gyroscope sensor in there, and it makes sense that would be able to detect that it was mounted instead of horizontally, it would be vertically on a wall, and that up firing horn speaker could then get your Atmos speaker sound up. So that's really the only like thought process in my mind is like maybe there is some truth to that. Maybe I don't know.
Well, and supposedly there is some magic if you mount the Sonos Arc on the wall compared to just laying it down on the cabinet or whatever. It like knows that it's mounted with the official mount, so that wouldn't surprise me any either.
So kind of this same idea. Well, let's see. Did I actually land on the right website today? Nope, $349. Lousy. I was really hoping that they would show. Oh yeah. So they have the little breakdown exploder image on their website, and it has those like angled horn things on the side. So
it's a possibility.
Possible, yeah. We're gonna leave it in our right next to the Leviton light switches that that's a mystery. This is gonna be another mystery here that we've dug up on the HomeTech Headlines. One of these days we'll know if it can do this or not, because I think they'll just like, hey, you want to do this? We have this new thing out. I think they would tie it to more than just a software update. There'd probably be a hardware yeah, it's got to be like there maybe even been a hardware update with it, right? Like they may have something else they've got up their sleeves. But
well, until then, you can always use Sonos Sequencer to use them as surrounds, I'm sure.
What's that? Sonos Sequencer?
So Sonos Sequencer is an iOS app that you can actually reassign Sonos speakers to basically do whatever you want.
Oh, really?
So you can take that's how they do a lot of the Symphonis speakers with subwoofers. Is they'll add the speaker terminals to the back of it, and then you attach a subwoofer to it, and that'll work by itself. But then if you have the Sonos Sequencer app, you can actually dedicate that Symphonis speaker as a subwoofer, and then it'll work as a Sonos subwoofer then.
That sounds interesting. I'll have to check that
I gotta
out.
look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I haven't got a full chance to play with it just because I don't have a use for it yet. But I set it up shortly with my IKEA speakers, and it works pretty good.
It says Sono Sequencer, and yeah, it's there. It's number 191 in the music, and
yeah, I think it costs like $5.
$2, too dang. Well, it could be it could be $5 Canadian
dollars.
I don't know.
Now mine's saying $2 too. I think you're good.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, check it out at some point.
It works on your Apple Watch. You can switch things over.
Definitely not an official thing. So if you're looking for official support, that is not there. But there you go.
Ah, interesting. So you can create unsupported stereo pairs, like with using a Sonos One and a Play One, so you can mismatch your devices. Oh, that's brilliant, man. How is this not a pick of the week, TJ? Where are you?
I thought everybody knew about this.
No,
it's been around for years.
Nah, never heard of it.
Well, there you go.
I'll have to play with this. This sounds fun. So yeah, you could go grab the IKEA junk. I say junk. It's got Sonos built into it.
Junk. I have a couple of them. They're not that bad.
The wireless sucks in it. I'll give you that. Mine always cuts out.
Oh man. Yeah, we'll go grab a couple of those, and then make your own subwoofer thing. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I dig it.
Yeah, and it's not hard to do, honestly. It probably takes like a half hour to an hour if you're like good with electronics, and there's plenty of guides out there to do it. So
interesting.
And you can some people even take the speakers and turn them into just like an amplifier, so that'll power another set of speakers.
Right. No,
so you can hook it up to even better ones.
No, I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking I was going to add a sub in here. I was bringing the sub I have out in the living room and bring it out to the garage for when we're at moves out here, and get this little the Ray bar, I guess, for the garage. But now, I'm thinking I go to IKEA and
there you go,
and set it up this way. This looks really fun. Thanks, man. All right. Well, and perhaps the biggest announcement this week was the introduction of the long rumored Sonos voice assistant. It's really not a voice assistant because it doesn't do too much outside operating your Sonos speakers, which is kind of fine by me. That's really all I wanted to do. Let's see, Breaking Bad and Far Cry 6. Gianarzo Esposito, I'm going to butcher his name there, is the first to lend his voice to using the Sonos, to being the Sonos voice. And I kind of listened to the TJ, you posted a video. We'll put it in our show notes as well. It's kind of a long video. A lot of navel gazing going on.
You got to talk about all the intricate details that nobody cares about.
Exactly. A lot of navel gazing over like this voice thing that they did. And but his voice sounds good. He's got like a deeper voice, which on a Sonos system is actually probably going to sound really good. You wouldn't be able to put him on one of those like smaller Amazon devices and get the same, quality out of it. So they picked a good voice actor is all I'm saying. The wake word is going to be "Hey Sonos." So guys, we're going to have to ban that from our show too. No more saying anything that says "Hey Sonos."
Are they going to get sued for that? Like a counter suit?
Yeah. Google says you can't. We have "Hey" trademarked. I'm sure it'll come up in a lawsuit between those two. So it's going to be rolled out and available on every Sonos system that has voice control capabilities already. So the ones that have the microphone and you can use with Amazon and Google Assistant. It's going to be compatible, of course, with Sonos Radio, but with Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, and Pandora at launch. And they're confirming that more services and other things will be added at a later date. But right now, the command, what they're calling Sonos Voice Command, will be available in the US starting June 1st. And then France is the next region to gain support. And Canada, guess what these guys can do? These guys are so lucky. They can access this feature by setting their location to the US. So
I just love that was in the article. It was like, yeah, you could just switch it. It's okay.
It was a Canadian article. Okay, it was a Canadian article. But
that's brilliant.
You know the sad part about that is, as a Canadian, we're used to doing that. Like, you didn't need to put that in the article. We would have done that already. All my Alexa, Amazon devices are all pointing to the US, so I can get those features before Canada. So we're used to it.
It's too funny. I was gonna say, so out of all of this, I don't have any Sonos devices with microphones on them. Gavin, I'm pretty sure you do, right? Yeah.
I have a number of them, and I use the Amazon lady on mine. And the one thing I really like about the Sonos devices, their microphones are really good. So on the Beam, I was blown away that I can say, "Hey lady," while a TV show is blasting, and she hears me, and she'll lower the volume and answer, and it works really well. Like, I prefer using it over the Amazon devices for that.
Yeah, and they did play this as a privacy play, right? So it's only kind of, I don't know if it's on device specifically. I didn't really get that deep into it, but obviously they're not going to be data mining you for everything that you do and say. So unfortunately, this isn't going to buy you that new LG 55-inch TV that you were trying to get last week, which I'm hoping is working well. I'm hoping LG had at least sent you tracking numbers by now, because did it work? No?
We should give an update at the end of the show. Let's see what happens.
All right. Still no TV, I guess, huh? All right.
No.
Yeah.
And according to this article too, it actually doesn't send audio to the cloud, nor is it stored or listened to by the company. So I'm always skeptical when people say that, but that is what Sonos is claiming at this moment.
Well, it is believable, because it does so very little, if you think about it, that they can actually have it all local. Like, it's not like it has to really think much when, it's just doing things locally. I think it must send some, like, if you're requesting it to play a specific song, which I think is one of the commands you can do, right? It must send the data that you're requesting up to the cloud to get that song going, right? Like, it has to send something,
It's like a search query. It's going to have to send something out that way. Yeah,
exactly. So it's probably just doing some like speech to text, translation first, and then sending the text up, so they don't hear your actual audio. But, I'm also wondering, is this a sign of things to come? Like, today's Hey Sonos, tomorrow are we getting Hey Samsung, Hey Roku, Hey LG 55-inch TV?
Absolutely.
Like, am I going to start yelling all these brand names out because they're all going to come out with their own little thing? Like, that's,
hey, brand name.
Yeah, hey, brand name,
It's Joe title there.
There you go, So that's what I'm a little nervous about, It's going to be like having 10 kids in the house. You get their names all mixed up, Well,
there was an article, or something that Stacy on IoT brought up this past week. And it was basically like, shouldn't like voice assistants or something be built into each device? And I was like, that just sounds awful. I don't want, like, I don't know, my smart plug to have a voice assistant built into it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why at this point, other than like these little small point control devices, like if you don't have any other way or don't want any other way to control your Sonos system, I mean, you don't have to use this. You can turn this feature off, which is great.
Well, and this is totally like a legit move. Like, I'm not like angry about this. I don't think they're wasting resources on it or anything. Like, I'm fine with it, because we're not even using the microphones in our Sonos products at this moment, because you just can't use like the full Google Assistant approach with it.
So that's my question.
I just get angry with it.
Are you going to use this? Would you use this?
I could. I honestly, because I like the grouping option. Supposedly you can tell it to group different speakers. And a couple other control options, I could see me enabling it just for that. Because right now I'm walking up, I don't want to pull up my phone to group speakers, and I walk up to the speaker and I hold the play and pause button, and that groups them. So if I don't have to do that anymore, and I can just say, "Hey, Sonos, do this," I might be down. But that's probably all I'm going to use it for. So
I think you mentioned that before on the show once, and that's the first time I even knew you could do that.
yeah, that's an amazing feature.
But mine are just like on the floor, like under couches, or like I'd have to dig around to get, like, it's more effort to get to them than it is to.
Yeah, all mine's on the wall or like on counters.
Yeah. I guess that makes it easier. We used to have one like in the bathroom, but it migrated out here to the garage, so it's sitting right over there. But yeah, interesting. I guess I'll eventually have a Sonos thing with a speaker in it. Maybe in here in the garage. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would say until this announcement, there was really no point. Now it might be a point. I don't think it's like a huge selling point still. Like I wouldn't rush out to get one with a microphone still, but like now it actually has a use.
Right. It's a good bullet point. It's a good bullet point on the product.
And the one thing I was really upset about this announcement, I was really hoping for headphones.
Oh my gosh,
Gavin. I know TJ. I know you were looking forward to it too. I was hoping.
Upset.
I have a legit use or a legit want for these headphones, and I was really hoping for them.
I've wanted headphones for like the past 2 years now. I think they're just great.
Hey Sonos, we want headphones.
They know. They just won't do it.
Hey, brand, send me some headphones. All right, guys. We'll have to keep an eye on this and see what happens. I'm either going to buy one of these Beam things or go out to IKEA and get a bunch of things to take apart, because that actually sounds like the more fun project. To be honest, that it's probably more expensive and less reliable in the long run, but. Yeah,
absolutely. But it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun.
And the app is only $2. That's how you can justify it. You're like, well, I didn't spend that much to try it,
I just tore apart like hundreds of dollars of equipment.
Maybe find a used one somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's a garage too. Like, I'm not trying to change the world out here. My projector screen is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 poster, like foam back poster boards from the dollar store. So it cost me all of $6 to make my 130 inch screen over here. It's huge. So yeah, there we go. Let's move on here. Google also had a big event this week that actually happened right before the Sonos announcement, but quite a few less things happened in it. They did announce a bunch of new products, and if you're in the Google and especially in the Pixel ecosystem, I think there's a lot of exciting things there. A lot of really nice looking products. The phones look great. They have a new Google Watch, a Pixel Watch. They've got Pixel phones now. They've got Pixel AirPods, which aren't AirPods. They call them Pixel Buds, I guess. Whatever. And then, new Pixel tablet. So a watch, earpiece things, phones, and the tablets. It looks like another brand I know of. I just can't place it, but they've got all those check boxes knocked off now. All of it looked really nice. I think the tablets were like next year. You're not going to see them for a while. They showed off some glasses, like AR glasses that were prototyped. It looked really nice. They were kind of like showing how you could be looking at somebody speaking a different language, and that would be translated in near real time and displayed on the glasses, on the front of the glasses in front of your eyes. As you're looking through that, it looks like you're looking at the person, but you're actually reading what they're saying, which I thought was kind of neat. I think you can already kind of do that on the phones. So it's not a stretch of an imagination to think that technology is too far off. It's just you're going to have some glasses with cameras and microphones on them, right? So that'll have to happen. But the big things I think we're concerned was the Google Assistant improvements, and they went over a couple of things that we pulled out of the keynote there. They have introduced kind of using their AI learning and machine learning and all that good stuff. They introduced some more natural communication with the device. So all the uhs and everything that I've been saying would be kind of ignored out of a command when you're giving it. And that's always my problem when I'm talking to these things. I'm like, I say something and I flub it up and I'm like, oh, that's not what I meant to say. There's no time for my brain to kind of catch up. And it's like, okay, I need to say this exact phrase for this to work without saying, or thinking about it too long. And this thing's going to give up on me. this evidently will let you do that. It'll let you say or like if you can't think of something and you kind of stop talking. It actually has that Google voice they use. It goes like it's waiting on you to. And it sounds so condescending. Yeah, I'm having a problem here, Google Assistant person, lady. Like it's just, I would throw the thing away if it did that to me. It's like patience. Anyway, that was a cool feature, and it'd be nice if machines, Google's kind of seems to be at the forefront of this and the natural language processing. And of course they don't do it in one language that we're speaking now. They go all out and try and do it in every language that's out there. So good on them. That's a big improvement. One of the biggest things they have is this look and talk thing. And instead of yelling out, "Hey Google," and asking a question or doing something, you're supposedly and this is rolling out, I think, on the Nest Hub Max first. You're just going to be able to look over at this thing and then just talk to it. And Gavin, I see you shaking your head like this sounds interesting. I mean, it sounds interesting, but what it means is that Google's watching you.
Google's not only just listening to you all the time now, they're also watching you all the time now. At some point they're going to be able to smell you all the time now. It's getting ridiculous. The whole thing about this Google announcements is they have a lot of features and things that at first I saw them, I'm like, this is amazing. This is really powerful stuff. This is great. And then I'm like, all the information they're gathering from this is ridiculous. There's going to be absolutely no privacy anymore.
But I think that's what you get when you're like, oh, I'm getting into the Google ecosystem, right? That's it. You expect it to happen. I'm in Google, and
but the difference is with the
me.
Google AR glasses, like when somebody's looking at you and it's giving them all your information about you, you're not voluntarily like getting into that. You're getting sucked in whether you like it or not because they're looking at you and it's gathering all the information and stuff. So there's no like QR code on my forehead that it will see and say don't scan this guy. He's been blocked. I don't know.
You have to wear special contact lenses.
Yeah.
That's a Wise move. I'm sorry, that's not Google. The Wise would do that.
Yeah, there should be some kind of blocker thing that we could stick on our forehead and it will instantly block these things from scanning us. It'd be like I don't consent to sharing my information type of mark.
Apply directly to the forehead.
But they had some amazing things. The multiple languages thing was amazing to watch. They're unifying the world and making it like communication like no longer a barrier, and I love to see that. Even their presentation, their stream had a sign language version, which I was watching for a while before I realized there wasn't a sign language version, right? So that was great to see. Like it's amazing what they do, but a lot of this stuff I found they were playing catch up too. With a lot of their stuff. They introduced the wallet, they introduced the watch, like stuff like that. It's a lot of catch up, but it's good to see them, bringing this stuff out anyway. Are you going to touch on Matter at all?
Yeah, we'll get to that next. One more quick thing that they did demo and they were talking about is that you can register things called quick phrases. And that actually will let you just kind of like be in the room and just kind of shout like, hey, what time is it? You don't have to say hey Google, the wake word or anything. You just say, hey, what time is it? And since you're looking that direction, your head's pointing that direction, or it's kind of like hearing that, it's going to respond. Like, or you could say, hey, turn off the lights. I keep saying, hey, like it's going to do anything, but like turn off the lights and it'll turn off the lights, which is nice. Like they're lowering the awkwardness and increasing the efficiency that it takes to talk with these, like the mental efficiency that it takes to talk to these things. Because like I said, when I'm talking to one of these things, I'm thinking about like, okay, I got to do the wake word. Then I got to think about what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this exactly like it's going to be said because the stupid thing's not going to understand what I said in the first place. And then I'll have to basically like hope that I got it right, but I'll flub it up halfway through. So I really think that they're working on the right things. Like we'll see if it ever pans out. Usually it does, especially in this era, but we'll have to see if it ever pans out and works the way they say it's going to work. It does look nice. Looks promising, I guess, is where I would say on that. So yeah, Matter. It does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
We say that all the time.
So yeah, and there was an interview with The Verge. Sat down with the senior director of Google Smart Home, Michelle Turner, and this was ahead of Google I/O. So they were discussing how the company plans to implement Matter, and when it arrives later this year, what all that will mean for Google's Nest products and the Google Home app. So if you are using Google, we've got two articles. There's also like a companion article that went with the Samsung stuff. We'll put both of these in the show notes. So if you use Samsung Smart Things, you may want to read that one to see what Matter is going to mean for you. And then read the Google one if you're in the Google ecosystem, right? But one of the big things that kind of pulled from this is the question that was asked. So when the Nest thermostats are upgraded, so when the Nest thermostat is upgraded to Matter, you'll be able to control it from an Apple HomeKit controller, such as a HomePod or Apple's Home app with Matter. And they said, yes, that's the multi-admin feature. If I want to have both HomeKit and Google Home running in the same house, my HomeKit controller, my HomePod or Apple TV should be able to control my thermostat. Okay, great. However, a Matter controller can't control another Matter controller. So a Nest Hub can't control a HomePod MIDI. There's a real difference there between the controller devices and the end devices. And the controller devices act differently. TJ is you just flipping me off? Is that what you were doing, man? No, I'm kidding.
It was like an X.
Yeah, the buzzer. We'll have to put the...
Yeah, the multi-admin feature is nice. You know, I like the ability of being able to control my stuff from whatever and setting up multiple hubs, because that's the issue right now, is that you can only pair up, one device per hub. But I was really hoping you could control another hub with it as well. And I don't see why that would not be possible, but it's probably the manufacturers not letting that happen. They're like, once you're in our ecosystem, we want you to be in our ecosystem.
Right. And this is falling in line with what I have thought Matter was going to be for a long time. They've really focused on getting the onboarding process. What they want to work really well is the sales process. They want you to go to the store and buy something that says, check, this works with home automation. And you go home, you install it, and no matter what platform or system you're on, it'll work with that. It's guaranteed to work with that, and it's supposedly guaranteed to be easy to set up and turn and onboard that device. And that's great. That's a step. And they've worked on like the topology, right? The topology of the network. So sensors and things that aren't like really like a camera that needs a lot of bandwidth or something like that, that'll get thrown over to the Zigbee network or Thread network, or whatever you want to call it. It'll get thrown over to that network that uses low bandwidth mesh networking. Great. That'll be that. And then all the other stuff that needs things like cameras, video doorbells, that kind of thing, that'll still hang out on Wi-Fi, and it'll all be on the same kind of network. So that interoperability there on that network exists, and that's a good thing. All this has been a play to basically make the stuff work better out of the box and get onboarded into your system. It's not going to make these devices work any better. Like, they're not going to be like, if some random Chinese brands get Matter certified and great, it works with Google. Great. Does it work with Apple? Yes. Is it going to break? Yeah, it's going to break just as fast as it would have if it didn't have this, right? So that's going to be the same. And then the bigger problem is, it's like you are still going to have to pick a king of the castle. And I've been saying that for a while. People shot at me on Twitter and said, no, that's not right. This multi-admin thing, it means you can have Amazon and Apple in this. No, it's not. They want to be the king of the castle, and they want to have you in their ecosystem. And they're not going to let you use an Amazon Echo device to trigger HomeKit devices, or devices that are only registered to the HomeKit ecosystem, and vice versa. They're just not going to do it. They want you to pick one. There's choice there. If you want to bail on the HomeKit ecosystem and move over to Amazon, you can do that. Reset all your devices, and you're good to go. SmartThings also had a similar answer to kind of the same question. you say, here it goes, interview with The Verge. You say the SmartThings is integrating Matter as a controller. Does that mean that Samsung's connected devices like washing machines, robot vacuums, TVs will not be exposed to other Matter controllers such as the Amazon Alexa and HomeKit? Apple HomeKit. And the person they interviewed, I didn't write their name down, sorry, but it'll be in the article. Indeed, this year, we will focus our efforts on bringing Matter as a controller to multiple surfaces across the Samsung portfolio. This means most 2022 Samsung smart TVs, monitors, Family Hug refrigerators, SmartThing hubs will not act as a Matter bridge. So non-Matter devices will not be bridged or exposed to other Matter controllers. That said, Matter-enabled SmartThing hubs will continue to support existing devices and protocols, so Zigbee, Z-Wave, to provide SmartThings customers with flexible connectivity options. So SmartThings is almost even a step further back where they're saying like all this stuff that we already have in your house that's already hooked up to SmartThings and is SmartThings only hub, that's going to live there. And if you want to get stuff that's Matter compatible, that's great. Don't expect to hook it up to your Amazon Alexa ecosystem and access your SmartThings connected stuff over here on their SmartThings hub. You got to go with the SmartThings. And guys, I'm even if this is built into the Matter protocol, where you could do this eventually down the road and have multiple voice assistants to yell out in your house, it's not going to happen. It's not. No, Apple, Amazon, and Google have not invested billions of dollars into these voice control platforms to let you do this. They want to be getting all of those commands and all that voice data in themselves. That's how it is. I see everybody shaking their head. They're all agreeing with me. Gavin shaking his head. No, this isn't right.
Yeah, you know what? These articles, the more and more they say about Matter, the more and more I have more questions. But it also doesn't sound the greatest. Like, it's sounding like they're still going to be creating. So one of the things I picked up from Google, and this is just personal opinion, right? But it sounds like they're going to be like, great, we'll make it easy for you to make a device that pairs with Google, and we'll handle the bridging of that device to Matter for you, right? So you just have to say works with Google, and it will be now a Matter device. That's what I'm seeing. But then now you're stuck with Google because if you have all those devices. And that's kind of what Samsung's doing too, is where Samsung devices, they're not going to expose it to Matter, but it's still like you have to go through. If you have a Samsung hub, it will import all the other Matter devices and all the Samsung devices, and Samsung hub becomes your central voice. You have to have it. You can't get out of it. And I can see more and more companies doing this, but again, we still have until fall to get all the details. I just keep getting more and more doubtful that this is going to solve anything, and it's just going to be even more confusion when it comes out.
Yeah, I think they've set this up to be like the end all fix all for all things IoT, and it's not going to be. I mean, it's going to be nice to have this type of topology and network available for consumer devices, because TJ and I were talking like this is the hub and spoke model that custom integration has enjoyed for a long time, right? Like this is what we've been doing. We've been using like low bandwidth sensors with Zigbee and Z-Wave over here. We've had our cameras over here, and everything kind of talks back to a hub, an expensive hub, and goes and gets aggregated and put into an app. Yay, team! But now that's coming to consumer devices, and what's nice is it's built into things like your refrigerator or a HomePod or Amazon Echo. That's great. I'm glad that ecosystem will be there. It'll certainly advance home automation and getting smart things inside of, not brands, but like smarter devices inside of in people's homes. Then from there, it's like once we're on the network, we have all these sensors, we're getting all this data from you. Thank you very much. What do we do with that? Google had in that same article, had some ambitious plans about like making thoughtful ideas happen, like thoughtful things, automations happen inside the home. And once they can really get in there and watch you, they'll be able to tell you what you should be doing in your house, I guess. But for the most part, that's what I kind of want. Like I kind of want to be able to walk into my garage and have the lights kick on like reliably. Or I want to have like something in here that's not a motion detector. So I'm sitting at my desk, the lights don't turn off, right? But if no one's in here, I do want the lights turned off. Like something it's harder to do than you really think that it's going to be to do. And we have a motion sensor in our laundry room, and it's kind of like a long hall, like it's a galley type laundry room. And you can walk in, the light, boom, it's on. But it doesn't reach all the way to the other end. So if you are on the other end working in the mop sink, the mop sink or whatever, and it can't see you, the lights turn off. And then you kind of have to walk your way back halfway down the laundry room and wave your hands around. TJ, this is a podcast, TJ, and I know people maybe watching on the YouTube stream can see you doing that, but that was
they're just gonna have to watch the video.
Well, I'm gonna take that out and make a GIF out of it. Is what I'm gonna do. So, one of the let's see if I can get to this. One of the Nilay Patel over at The Verge posted something on here, and I'm trying to get back to the comment that he made on here, but he's like something along the lines of this is why these home automation companies haven't, or these big brands haven't gotten it. Like I think he said something along the lines of like my third party access thing, whether it's like Homebridge or something like that, does all of this stuff and more, and they're just finally that's what people want. That's what people want to have happen. And instead of being able to like tie it all together, we're just kind of like still taking a step back and kind of doing it incorrectly. Yeah, Ty saying use TJ as the podcast thumbnail. Heck yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
The other thing that this is not going to do, it's not going to get rid of all the apps too. I find, like, because yes, you'll be able to control your thermostat from another device, but I think it's just going to be the basics of that thermostat. You get the temperature, you can put it up, you can put it down, and that's pretty much it. But when you're looking at like an Ecobee thermostat, there's so many other settings on that. Heat, cool,
like schedules and stuff like that.
With that one, but yes, yeah, exactly. There's so many other things, and you're still going to need the app to do it. We're not going to get rid of the app. We're still going to have an app for all of our products, so I'm getting more and more doubtful.
All right, you heard it here first. Gavin's still doubtful on Matter.
I don't know how you guys still have doubt left. Mine was gone a long time ago.
It's all in on Wise and all in on Matter.
Yeah, at this point, if Wise creates like a new smart home standard, I would be all aboard. I'd be like, all right, let's do it. At this point, you guys do everything else.
We're in that timeline. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Is Wise will just come out and be like, this is the smart home standard, and everybody's like, yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, we'll just transition to that.
They gotta call it something cool though, like Wiz.
Yeah, if you look at Wise and their Wiz network, they are probably gonna come out and say, "Hey, we got 50 million people on the Wiz network. This is a new standard, and we have products that cover every base of the smart home running on the Wiz network." Yeah. So I mean, I would be surprised if it happens.
You get a T-shirt that says Wise Wiz.
Yeah, we gotta create like a fake logo for the Wiz network and see if we can pass it off.
Ooh,
real?
Ooh, yeah.
What is it? Wise or not yet wise?
Yeah.
Controlled by Wiz, something like that. Like the little circular like rectangle.
Let's start off fake Reddit posts. How do I add this to my Wiz network, and then see if people, and then we'll start replying to ourselves on how to do it. Then people will be like, "What's this Wiz network?"
Shoot, you guys aren't part of that yet. My bad.
Oh, this is the beta forum? Oh, sorry.
Whoops. Oh man. Well, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, everything is pointing to a release date later this year. We speculated before this year, like, why are they delaying it? They're delaying it for, the holiday shopping season. They want everybody to get that new smart home stuff over the holidays and experience no frustration whatsoever setting them up, after they open them up as gifts over the holidays. So we'll have to see. I'll be curious when this stuff does eventually land to see, how the ecosystems play out, and kind of additionally how people hack around this and make, Amazon ecosystems work with HomePods. That'd be great. We'll have to see. So anyway, all the topics and discussions tonight can be found over on the show notes at HomeTech.fm/387. You can find all the links, basically everything. I'll put a couple more about the videos and everything that we have in here, especially that long one we're Sonos. If you want to,
Wow, what is that, like 2 minutes long?
It was long enough for me to go, what are they talking about? I just want to see, and I just skipped it like halfway. I think it's like 6 or 7 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, if you need to fall asleep,
2 minutes and 5 seconds, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, well, if you're in the TikTok generation, that is
you're not
30
even
seconds. 30 seconds.
Oh, come on, man! I am. I'm all on TikTok. All right, guys. Pick of the week this week. This is I put this in there a couple weeks ago, and my title is "How is this not the pick of the year?" And I honestly I don't know how it's not the pick of the year. But you guys have been like just not, agreeing with me on this product. And so I found a brand called Super Dandy, which is
super Danny.
super. Oh, is it super? Oh, it doesn't have the extra. Oh, well, never mind. This ruins it for me. I thought it was Super Dandy. Anyway, super Danny.
Like somebody's really cool uncle.
Super Danny Osborne.
Anyway, so the Super Danny, they make a 22 AC outlet surge protector with the 6.5 foot flat heavy duty extension cord. And this thing is absolutely amazing. If you've ever run out of outlets, it is a 22 AC outlet. It looks exactly like you think, just an absurd amount of AC outlets on this thing. And I really like the images that they show, like with just an absurd amount of like wall warts and things plugged into this thing on a desk, but there's still like half of the outlets are still available to plug things in. If this was installed anywhere in real life, it would just be just the most amazing. There we go. Thank you so much for whoever put the cabin. I guess TJ who put that up there. It comes in black and white, $29 US. So it's probably like 350 Canadian. Yeah, this is brilliant. If you ever need multiple outlets to burn your,
and it comes in white, so you can match your decor,
yeah,
no problem.
It just blends right in, guys. 22 outlets. Oh my gosh,
22 spacious outlets.
You can plug in all of the things, and they say in their description they will not expose your devices to the Matter network. So again, isolation right there.
Nice.
Like
they actually have their own voice assistant.
It's got,
you say, "Hey, Danny."
It's got mostly great reviews, but there's a couple of people that say it kind of worked 30 minutes after failing. There's no warranty. Yeah, whatever. But hey, it's
for $30. It can catch your house on fire.
Exactly. It's amazing. Well, there we go. Pick of the week. I'm glad you guys finally let me put it up.
Do the side and the
gosh.
side plugs on it also rotate too. Like you don't understand how good of a feature that is until you actually have that on a power bar. When they spin out, like this would actually look good, but just give me like maybe a 8-port, 8-plug version. I don't need 22. It's intimidating.
Not yet.
Oh well, I mean, you'd be happy to know that Super Danny. Oh no, PalSave has the 18 outlet version, and then there's another one called Nuesta that has a 12 outlet version. So if you need any one of those, I mean, pretty much, I am shocked that there's a 22 outlet version. Honestly, this is kind of.
And here's a pro tip: if you got like a lot of those wall warts and you can't just fit them in, what I've been doing is buying those short little extension cords, like 3 inches or so, and you just plug them into that, and then you plug your wall wart into that, and then you can use all the plugs on your board, right?
Yep. Oh, hey, look at this. Super Danny actually makes some like. I went to the Super Danny store on Amazon, and they actually make some like little travel sized like outlet things that would probably be more convenient for your desk. Like it's basically some USB chargers with outlets built onto them, and you can just plug everything into that. It sits on your desk. It's a little tiny square thing. Yeah, I think
travel clock. Look at that travel clock.
Yeah, look at that. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Oh, look at Super Danny's pretty nuts.
I'm gonna have to stay on the Super Danny store and check this out. This is really nice. Wow. Okay, I thought this was a joke, guys, but this is the real deal. So, Super Danny is the pick of the week.
Is it better than that undisclosed device you won't tell us?
No, I can't tell you about that. I can't. We can't talk about that.
Is it better than that though?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, look, they have LED lights. Like, figure out. They have everything you could possibly ever need here.
They are the wise of Amazon.
They're wise of outlet charger things. That's for sure. There's a power tower, which they could have called a tower of power, I guess. Probably some trademark. I mean, but who cares at that point? Like, wow, this is really cool. Check this out. If you need power in your life, we'll put the link to it in the show notes. I've got the power. I might get a couple of these. These look really handy. Yeah, this is really, really nice. Anyway, moving on here. All right, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the weeks, or great ideas for a show, or outlet, if you've got something that has more than 22 outlets on it, let us know. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm. You can visit the website over at HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. That wraps up another week in home technology news, which was kind of sparse, even though we had like a major event like Google I/O. I think Apple's event is coming up soon. I think Amazon usually has one sometime around this time of year, or maybe a little bit later, where they kind of like dump all sorts of new products on us, like clocks with the Alexa thing built into it, and microwaves with Alexa built in. Like all of a sudden they just come out of nowhere with all these products. Maybe they just had that actually I think they had their Ring event not too long ago where they announced a bunch of new products.
And Amazon Prime Day is around the corner too, which I look forward to every year. It's a time to buy all those useless gadgets that, like are too expensive now, but when they're half off, that useless gadget is pretty nice.
Sometimes they're half off. Sometimes it's just a, Amazon garage sale. And I don't know. They say it seems like Amazon has quite the, I don't know. They have quite the selection of useless gadgets all the time that are decently priced. So yeah, I've bought a couple of things off Prime Day. There was one time where you could like click something fast enough. I don't know if they still do it. If you click something, you would get a prize. It was like a box. You would click this box and it would like, oh, it's a prize of the day. And sometimes it's like, oh no, you didn't get that prize. But I actually got like some headphones once, or some earphones, and I was like, well, that's it. It was either the lottery or this,
So the Canadian Amazon site isn't as exciting as the US Amazon site.
Do you have the live video?
No, you guys have like a QVC or something on your Amazon site. I don't see that on ours. No, yours is sometimes I just browse yours just to see what's there, but it's a lot more exciting on your side. Yeah,
there's a guy talking about some, like maybe the Elgato Stream Deck. No, he's talking about some kind of, wait, is he talking about the Super Danny? Because it looks like he's talking about the Super Danny on here. This looks very, very similar. It's some kind of tower of power type thing that he's got on here. And I clicked the thing and now it froze up. So I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, ours isn't that exciting.
Yeah. Oh man, this is super exciting. Yeah, this is some kind of like countertop UPS thing that he's plugging stuff into.
I don't even see where you're seeing these videos at. I don't have them.
It's in the QVC section of Amazon. Anyway, he's talking about an inflatable paddleboard. Now he moved on from surge protectors to inflatable paddleboards. So that if that tells you the range and versatility of these Amazon QVC actors, there you go. But anyway, you guys got any projects coming up this weekend?
No, it's getting warmer out. I think I'm gonna open the pool this weekend, so that's gonna keep me busy for the weekend. And I have another number of things, but the dashboards, I'm still working on just updating my dashboards. So that's pretty much it right now.
Yeah, I don't have anything exciting going on either. Just finished moving into the new office, got a couple shelving units installed, and we have a e-shred event this weekend going on where people can bring their documents and electronics to get recycled.
It sounds like that's the most. I think I'm going to join Gavin in his pool.
Sounds much better.
That sounds much better. Yeah.
Well, usually when I open it, it's green, and then it takes a week or so for it to get.
Oh,
clear.
You got to shock it. Yeah. Don't
shock
get
the
in
crap
there.
out of it. Yeah. I got to pull out all the dead mice and little rodents that fell in over the winter.
Maybe I'll wait a couple months. Yeah, you're right.
Those are the things that you never hear about people having to deal with a pool. All you ever hear about is the good times, but you never hear about the bad times that you have to go through. But yeah, the only problem is I gotta buy a new barbecue, so that I'm on the hunt for a barbecue right now. So it'll be pool but no barbecue. So you might want to wait till it gets barbecue and pool.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Definitely.
Invite us all up.
Yeah. We'll have
home tech party.
Yeah, home tech in the GTA is what as I've informed today, not Grand Theft Auto. But
I didn't realize you didn't catch up. You didn't know what that meant, but GTA, Greater Toronto Area.
They kept saying it over and over again, and I was like, "What are you like just making a joke right now?" Oh, you don't know.
Sorry.
Okay, that's cool.
I really didn't know. No, I'd never heard of that before. Yeah, there you go. Greater Toronto Area. The things you learn in the Home Tech Talks every single week are just invaluable to life. Yeah, if you're ever at, thank you. I was like, yeah, GTA sounds like a fun game up there in Canada.
You guys play that a lot up there.
Oh yeah. There's people constantly jumping in cars and stealing them right there on the roads. Actually, that did happen.
Driving like crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bad drivers all over the place.
So maybe you are living in the game.
It's all a simulation.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's why matter won't matter. So we're living in a simulation. All right. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support our show through our Patreon page. And this week we have a big thank you to give to Chris Marinucci. Supports the show at the $5 and up level. So thank you very much, Chris. We really do appreciate it. And I think he dropped into the hub briefly and then kind of disappeared. I'm not too sure, but make sure if you check your email, make sure you get that invite link, Chris, and join us there in the hub for our crazy discussions over there. If you don't know about our Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. And any pledge over $5 gets you a big shout out here on the show, like Chris Scott. But every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, the hub, where you and other supporters of the show can gather every day and make fun of people who wear flowered shirts. You guys were mean. I have flowered shirts. They look great.
That's right. You live in Florida. He lives in England. I think there's a little bit of a difference.
There's always a time and a place for a flowered shirt. I don't think he was in the right place.
No, he looked great.
That's the right place. Come on.
He was in Spain. Yeah, he's dead. We're talking about a friend of the show, James, who was teaching a class in front of fellow integrators, and somebody was making fun of his shirt. But I thought his shirt looked fine. It was a nice shirt. Anyway, James is awesome, and he was teaching an awesome class.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right. Let's see. If you want to help out with the show but can't support the show financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or a positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. Really helps people find the show. That wraps up another week in Home Tech. For everyone here, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
Bye.
What does that even mean?
And you said it wrong.
I did say it wrong. I butchered
it's like Miguan.
I butchered it.
Did your wife tell you to say that one?
No, I found it.
Oh, you said it wrong.
He was on Google Translate earlier.
I was using my new Google glasses.
You totally said that wrong.
Yeah, just cut that out, Seth. I don't have to say that.
Here, say another one now.
I'll get stabbed.
Say another one now.
I'm just gonna say something lame like bye. So just cut it. Just cut it out altogether.
Bye.
Just use Gavin's voice.
Do it twice.
Oh man, I knew I would butcher that too, but I was like, I'm not gonna find another word.
I didn't see that in the notes until it was too late.
I was listening to it several times. Still didn't matter.
Swing and a miss, but that's all right. You try every week, and that's what matters.
Nobody listens to the end anyway, so
everybody stops listening when we get to the patron part. So, all right, except Ty. He's been here the whole time. Thank you, Ty, for joining us.
Ty's
we appreciate
man.
it. Yeah, he's the man. All right, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Miguan.